They actually made me sing up there.
What did they make you sing?
You know, I thought that you know, it was more of an Elton John kind of thing, so I got some Elton John on there.
Well, we are recording, so if you would like to give us a little rendition, Nonito.
Well, it's not gonna be Elton John now since you gave me on the thing, so I'm just, when your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet. Ooh. Will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from the cheek? And darling, I will be loving you till we're 70. There you go. And baby, my heart could still fall as hard as 23. And I'm thinking about people fall in love in mysterious. I'm not stopping, by the way. You got me started.
Keep going.
I am not gonna stop. No, I'm just kidding. All right, back to business. Nonito Donaire reporting. Back to business.
This is Rob Tebbutt from Behind the Gloves. I'm here with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
How are you today, Nonito?
I am well, man. I'm just having fun. I'm very, very excited.
I actually had such a nice introduction planned for you, so I'm going to do it anyway.
Do it.
This is Rob Tebbutt for Behind the Gloves. I'm here with 4-weight world champion, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire in Belfast. Did you like that one?
I love that one. Except you're like, the crowd, you gotta get the crowd going, you know? It's okay, it's okay. And the spirit fingers as well. I have the spirit fingers.
You're remarkably chipper for somebody who's been so cold.
Yeah, you know, I guess that's the thing that I had to be. No, actually, everybody was so warm, you know? It's been very cold since I got here. I'm not used to that. You know, they said it was cold, but I didn't know it was going to be that cold. But the people around have introduced me, have welcomed me. I mean, it's just been amazing. It's just been just a warm welcome, you know, and just the respect level was just tremendous.
Now, I've followed your career as well as Carl Frampton. It is of absolutely no surprise to me that today was nothing but respect between two warriors of the sport. How is that for you as a fighter, knowing that you're going to get that sort of adulation and that kind of respect from your opponent, as opposed to, you know, the trash talking and things like that?
That's what the sport is about, you know. The sport needs to be about sportsmanship. You know, at the end of the day, we can try to take each other's head off, but at the end of the day, we might just have a beer, you know, on the same table, cheering for a great fight. You know, I think that's what tremendous warriors are about. You know, we go out there in our best possible potential, but at the end of it all, that's where it stays.
Something else I wanted to touch upon. We had quite a large Filipino contingency at today's press conference. I bet that was nice for you.
Oh, that was. I was very surprised, you know. I mean, just the welcome, and at the same time, I mean, they showed up. You know, so I've heard some were kind of saying, "I took off for this fight, for this. I just want to be here." I mean, it's just been amazing, you know, just the support from them, and you know, the best that I can do is just go out there at my best.
Absolutely. Right, now onto the fight. This is a fight that could have happened, I said this to Carl, this is something that could have happened at several stages in both of your careers. For one reason or another, it didn't. In my opinion, this is potentially the most interesting time this bout could have taken place for a variety of reasons. Would you agree with that? I
100% agree with that, because it comes to the moment that our backs are against the rope, and there's only one way to be, is to break down that door, and by doing so, in defeating the opponent, you know. So one thing, the equation and the formula when it really comes down to it is be at the best possible shape, be at the best possible in your potential and in your capability, you know. So I'm going to sneeze, so excuse me.
That's fine, no problem. We've had you singing, Nonito, so sneezing is no problem.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this is what this fight is about, and I think this is the most interesting moment of it, is because we have no choice. If we want to be in this game, the sport that we love, you know, aside from proving people that we still got it, but the overall thing is this is where we can stamp our not just our legacy, but where we stand in boxing. You know, it's a must-win fight, and then it's a must we must be at our best. It's pretty much what it all comes down to.
Now, you're a fighter with a rich history of boxing. You've been involved in some of the great fights, produced some of the most sensational highlight reel knockouts. This fight, as you say, it's about proving something else. Does this remind you of when you were looking to make your name in boxing all of those years ago, before the world titles, before the knockouts? Is it similar to that?
It's a similar case, a similar emotion, you know, just being grateful for the moment and for the opportunity. But at this level now, it's a different focus. For me, it's a focus of not proving myself any longer, you know, because I have nothing to prove in the boxing world, but more of proving to myself that I still got what it takes to be in this game that I love, you know. And I think that's the biggest factor for me is being at my best, knowing that I still want to be in this game.
Now, you waxed lyrical about Carl in the press conference, as he did to you, as I said, very, very respectful. Just tell us a little bit about how you see Carl as a fighter in this moment. What does he do well, and what do you feel will match up well with you come fight night?
Well, we both have similar style in terms of just numerous type of style that we can fight. You know, different kinds of skills, from speed to power. You know, we both have that. You know, and it ultimately comes down to him being at his best, because he's a force to be reckoned with. You know, and I know that the crowd behind him, he is going to be at his best, and therefore I have to be at my very, very best for this fight. But the Carl Frampton is a person that is seeking, not a redemption, but is seeking to answer a question if I still have it. And it's the same thing in my particular moment, that do I still have it? So, you know, words are always going to be words when it really comes down to talking about how the fight's going to be. But really, the action that we will take will show if we do have what it takes to be in this game and be at the elite level still.
To break this down, this fight in the most simplistic way, you would say it is the left hook of Nonito Donaire versus the right hand of Carl Frampton. Is it more than that, or is that sort of the basis of this fight?
I think so. I think so. To give a visual, it's like two samurais, or two ninjas, or two samurais just try to chop each other down with one swing, right? With what they're capable of. So for me, it would be my left hook, because that's what I'm gonna be running in, and going out there with what the best of my arsenal is, and he's gonna do the same, which is his right hand. You know, and at the same time, it kind of reminds me of the Montiel fight, because that's what Montiel came in as. But there's a difference in the way they throw that straight that won't allow me to do that same thing with Montiel. But you know, we'll dissect that. But definitely, it's a left hook, straight hand type of fight.
Now let's just touch upon the Montiel fight. Obviously some time ago now, but one of the most sensational knockouts in your storied career. I still sort of have the images of him on the canvas. How different are you now? Now you're at the tail end of your career, or certainly in the home stretch of your career. How different is this Nonito Donaire compared to, say, the one who fought Fernando Montiel all those years ago?
Well, I think the only difference that I see is the desire. You know, in that past, I was so eager to fight. I was very hungry. Now the hunger is the same. You know, I'm starting to realize that the hunger is the same now, and because of the inspiration training. Because now at this moment in time, I can't back up. It's pretty much I'm at the edge of the cliff. If I move forward, you know, if I step back a little bit more, I'm gonna fall. So that's something that I refuse to do, is fall and say farewell to a sport that I love. You know, so for now, this is the moment for me, and with that moment, I can reclaim that emotion that I had with Montiel, with Darchinyan, or the likes, you know, because it's a necessity. It's a must for me to create that vision, to create that person all over again, because I love this sport. I want to stay in it.
The winner of this fight is almost certain to go on to challenge for a world title. On the flip side, does the fact that, I'm sure you're not thinking about losing, as is Carl, does the fact that if you were to lose this fight, or if Carl were to lose this fight, it would leave you with pretty few options, if not no options? Is that what makes this fight so compelling?
I think so. I think this is the fight. Because it has everything in it. All the formula of an amazing fight because of the emotion, what's behind it, what the victor and the price and you know, and stepping back will lead to, you know. So this is definitely a fight that has everything in it, and there, I mean, there's really nothing more to say when it really comes down to that. It's a must-win.
Now, can you just clarify something for me with regards to your trainer? I know you were trained by your father for a long time. You spent some time working with Robert Garcia. Who are you trained by now?
Me. I'm trained by me and my wife. I gave her the strategy. You know, we put on a thing together. And the funny thing is, I've always been that type of person. You know, I've always been creating my strategy into the fight. But of course, I am in that level of figuring out a person that works for me. But you know, that's something that I can't take too much time off because it's a necessity for me to be at my best. You know, so but for now, I know an idea. I have an idea of who it'll be. You know, so we'll see how it goes for now.
Who it will be or who you will be?
Who it will be and who I will be. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm sure when you said that, I'm sure there are a long list of trainers who would be queuing up to work with a fighter like yourself. I mean, I presume you've had numerous offers.
Definitely a lot of phone calls and a lot of messages. It's just a matter of because I don't like hopping from coaches to coaches. So I have to be smart, and I like to build a loyalty and the respect of being a family rather than just a one-time kind of thing. You know, I like to connect in that way. So that's why I'm very picky when it really comes down to it, you know.
After you lost to Nicholas Walters, I remember, as I say, I'm a big fan of yours, Nonito, and I remember a post where you said about fighting at featherweight, and you were going to move up, potentially, or move up, or you know, do something after that fight. But you felt that you were too small. This fight takes place at featherweight. What's changed?
Well, I took the time to wake up in the morning, put some weight on, you know, and made it a habit. You know, I've never been this big in terms of muscle mass, and I'm comfortable with it now. Before, I'd walk around at 128. I weigh in at 126. I go into the fight at 128, while the guys are weighing in at 147, you know. So I took a very disadvantage, but it was a learning experience for me. And so now what it really comes down to is just utilizing that muscle to just keep continuously grow it and keep building it. And that's what I've done, and that's why I took this fight, because I'm very confident with my weight now in this weight class.
Taking this fight, I mean, I know you alluded to it at the press conference about the crowd, and the Belfast fight crowd is probably one of the most vociferous crowds that you're ever going to come into contact with. With that in mind, were there any second thoughts about you coming here? Was there any idea of perhaps neutral territory, or is it just a case of you are a fighter and you will fight where the fights are?
I think it was just more of an equation that I'm looking for to bring out the best in me, you know, because I'm at a disadvantage when it really comes down to it. You know, the crowd can be a big help when it really comes down to the grit of things. So for me, it just falls into that I have to be at my best. There's no choice, you know, and I have to. It's just one of those equations that it's not like it's a neutral territory that, you know, if I win a decision or something like that. For me, I don't want to see that because I don't believe in it. You know, I just want to go out there, be a warrior, and be at my best. You know, and it all has that because the crowd, Carl, and his mindset and where it stands, this fight stands for him, what it stands for me. I mean, all of it is just put into place where I have to be at my best.
Now, you are one of the greatest Filipino fighters, or indeed any fighters, certainly of your generation, one of the greatest Filipino fighters of all time. There's Manny Pacquiao, there's yourself. The last time we saw a Filipino fighter on these shores, and you'll have to correct me if my pronunciation is bad, Joan Ancajas?
Yeah, you did it right,
yeah,
man.
Okay, not too bad. Thank you very much. Joan Ancajas fought here against Jamie Conlon. Did you see the fight?
I didn't see the fight, but I read about it. I read about it. Yeah.
How much content or how much have you seen of Jerwin Ancajas? Obviously, he's managed by Manny Pacquiao and he's touted as a future star in the sport. I mean, obviously, he's already world champion. Have you seen much of him?
I haven't seen much of his fight. You know, I just one of those guys that only kind of look into the guys that's in front of me and study their tapes, you know. That's why sometimes I lack the knowledge when it comes down to the person. Do you know this guy? He's in your weight class. Yeah, sure, he sounds familiar, you know. So, but I've heard a lot and I've read a lot when it comes down to Jerwin, you know, and he's going to be a tremendous fighter in the future.
Okay, and just finally, because I do appreciate your time, you've been amazing in making time for everybody, all of your Filipino fans. Just give us a message to UK fight fans and indeed fight fans around the world who will be tuning in on April the 21st when you face Carl Frampton in Belfast.
April 21st, you guys gotta see. It's a must-see fight because you got two warriors fighting for everything that they believe in boxing. Not only emotions, not only the reason behind it, but the country behind it, the people behind it. I mean, it has all of tremendous emotional content that will allow you guys to be. You guys, I don't even think you guys will be sitting. You know, it's going to be a tremendous fight. It's a must-win for me. It's a must-win for Carl Frampton. You know, so expecting lots of fireworks, lots of boom, lots of straight and lots of left hooks. You know, lots of power, and you guys will rise. That's a guarantee.
Okay, well, Nonito Donaire, the Filipino Flash, thank you very much for speaking to Behind the Gloves. I've seen you do it for everybody else, so I am going to ask for a little bit of shadow boxing before we finish this.
All right,
show the fans that you've still got it. Let's see it. You've sung for me, so there should be no problem. Come on. This is what you do.
Yeah, this is what I do, you know. I got this. All right. See, the thing is, I got tight suit on, so I'm just going to...
Nonito Donaire signing out. Thanks very much for speaking to Behind the Gloves.
You're awesome, man.
Hey, fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking right here.